A prejudiced manager humiliates and rips up a black client's check, only to discover her true identity. Who do you think you are? It's obvious this check is fake, so get out of my bank, shouted the manager, Marcus Sterling, as he ripped the black woman's check, completely unaware of the power she actually held. The moment the paper tore, the bank went silent. Lena Jenkins did not flinch. Her dignity remained intact, though humiliation pressed heavy against her chest. She had walked in quietly, hoping to complete a simple transaction, never imagining she would be insulted in front of strangers. Marcus, convinced he had done the right thing, crossed his arms smugly. He was used to being obeyed, especially by people he believed beneath him. But the silence in the room was different now, charged, tense, waiting. Then the glass door opened, and every head turned. A well-dressed man entered with a firm stride, eyes sharp and focused. His presence alone changed the atmosphere. Even Marcus straightened slightly. The man approached, noticing the ripped check on the floor and Lena's composed expression. "What happened here?" he asked, voice deep and controlled. Marcus forced a smile. "Just handling a fraud attempt, sir. This woman brought in a ridiculous check and expected us to process it." The man raised an eyebrow. "Ridiculous?" Marcus nodded confidently. A person like her couldn't possibly have access to that kind of money. A shocked murmur swept through the bank. Lena finally spoke, voice calm but powerful. "All I asked for was proper verification." The suited man looked at her with respect. "And that is exactly what you should have received." Then he turned to Marcus, expression darkening. "Did you verify it?" Marcus hesitated. There was no need. It was clearly fake. The man stooped down, picked up the torn pieces, and studied them. His jaw tightened. "Marcus," he said slowly, "do you know who signed this check?" Marcus shrugged. "Some random company." "Not random," the man corrected sharply. "This check was issued by Halotech Industries." Several employees gasped. Halotech was one of the most influential corporations in the state. Marcus blinked. "Well, even so nothing," the man cut in. "This check was authorized by the CEO." Marcus scoffed. "And why would someone like her ever have contact with a CEO?" The man stared at him, disappointment and anger battling in his expression. Then he looked at Lena. "Miss Jenkins, would you like to tell him? Or shall I?" Lena lifted her chin. "Go ahead." The man nodded. Then, loud enough for everyone to hear, he said, "Lena Jenkins is the sole heir and majority shareholder of Halotech Industries. The CEO you mocked with your assumptions is her late husband." The room froze. Marcus's face drained of color. Lena continued softly, "I didn't come here for special treatment. I came here as any regular client. Respect should not depend on wealth." The suited man faced Marcus fully. "You have violated policy, destroyed a valid financial document, and openly discriminated against a client." Marcus opened his mouth, but no sound came out. His authority, once unshakable, crumbled. The man turned to the staff. "Effective immediately, Marcus Sterling is suspended pending termination review." Two security guards stepped forward. Marcus stumbled back. "Wait, this is a misunderstanding." "No," Lena said gently but firmly. It was a choice. Marcus was escorted out, his protests fading behind the closing glass door. The bank remained silent until the man addressed Lena again. "Miss Jenkins, I sincerely apologize. We will repair the check and ensure your account is handled personally." Lena nodded. "Thank you." As the pieces were carefully collected, the clients watched with admiration. Many had wanted to speak earlier, but fear kept them silent. Lena turned to leave, pausing only once to look back. Not at Marcus, not at the torn paper, but the people who had witnessed everything. "Dignity," she said softly, "is wealth no one can tear." And with that, she walked out, not as the timid woman who had entered, but as someone who had reminded the world, without anger, without shouting, that respect is not given based on appearance, status, or color. It is deserved simply because one is human. A hush fell as her words echoed through the marble hall. Another employee stepped forward, an older man with tired eyes. "He docked my pay once because I asked for sick day. My wife was in the hospital." He laughed and said I should learn priorities. His voice cracked, and the shame on Marcus's face deepened. A woman near the back spoke next. "He told me I'd never be promoted because women get too emotional with responsibility." He said it in front of clients. I never forgot it. A few gasps rippled through the people waiting in line. The truth was no longer whispers, it was evidence. Marcus tried to steady himself. "This is exaggerated. I was enforcing standards. This is blown out of proportion." Lena turned toward him slowly. Standards don't humiliate, Marcus. People do. Her voice was calm, but steeled with resolve. The suited man finally spoke again, looking around at the employees. Is there anyone who wishes to defend him? Silence answered. Not one hand lifted. Not one voice rose. Marcus's last hope vanished. His shoulders sagged. Lena nodded once, as if confirming something silently within herself. Very well, she said. Marcus Sterling, effective immediately, you are terminated. Security will remove you from the premises. You will not return, not as staff, not as a consultant, not as a visitor. Your access, codes, and privileges will be revoked today. Marcus's eyes widened. Please don't do this. I have worked here 20 years. Lena looked at him, not with cruelty, but with truth. Then you should have learned in 20 years how to treat another human being. He reached out slightly, almost as if expecting anyone, to defend him. But no one moved. Security placed a hand on his arm. He didn't resist. His last glance at Lena was a mixture of regret, confusion, and the painful realization that his downfall had been self-built. As he was escorted out, no one clapped. No one cheered. Justice doesn't need applause, only acknowledgement. When the door finally closed behind him, Lena exhaled, not relief, not triumph, but the release of a weight she had carried since stepping through the door with a simple envelope. The suited man looked at her. Ma'am, would you like to restore the check electronically? Lena nodded. Yes, but more importantly, I want something else restored. The employees looked up curious. Lena stepped forward so that everyone, not just staff but clients, could hear. This bank, she said, will no longer run on fear, discrimination, or arrogance. From this moment forward, Granite Trust Bank will operate on dignity, equity, and respect. Not because of who enters, but because every person who enters deserves it. A woman near the front smiled, tears forming. The young teller who had spoken earlier whispered, "Thank you." Lena wasn't finished. To every employee who was silenced, your voices are no longer dismissed. A new reporting system will be created, anonymous if needed. Promotions and evaluations will be based on performance, not intimidation or favoritism. The suited man nodded with approval. It will be done. Lena continued. Anyone found mistreating clients or colleagues will be removed from this institution. No warnings, no excuses. The era of fear ends today. A quiet, powerful shift settled over the room. Something warmer than relief, stronger than admiration. Trust. Lena turned to the teller window. Now, she said gently, let's finish what I came here to do. The teller, hand steadier now, processed the restored transaction. When she handed Lena the receipt, she did so with both hands, as if offering something honorable. Thank you for not yelling, she whispered. Some people only learn power through volume. You showed us a different kind. Lena smiled softly. Power isn't volume. Power is choice. As Lena headed toward the exit, clients stepped aside, not out of fear but respect. A few nodded. One softly clapped a hand over their heart. The suited man escorted her to the door. Before she stepped out, she paused and looked back once more, not at the broken past, but at the future now possible. This building holds money, she said quietly, but from now on, it will also hold humanity. And with grace stronger than anger and justice louder than hate. Lena Jenkins walked into the sunlight, not as someone who demanded respect, but as someone who proved she never needed permission for it.